Alrighty. Welcome back. Happy Monday. What a morning. Crazy, man. Crazy stuff. How we doing? Welcome back. Yeah, chef. Now, I guess we both owe each other something, right? Get out to Florida soon. What's up, guys? I don't have the 40 still margin. I took a large amount off into the weekend. I got 5. So I'm up like I think as of right now, I think it's like 10K. 10-ish K. Let me see. Interactive Brokers account. You can always tell in Interactive Brokers how much you're up if you look at the 11,000 right now. 11,000 on 5 contracts, which is just crazy. It's like almost 200%. If I would have held 40, that would have been nice. But yeah, I'm not gonna be who would have known, right? So want to still be safe. 5, nice and safe. Up 10K, 11K. Why not? Sure. Of course, I wish I still had the 40, but hey, that would have been pretty reckless. But awesome. Love it. Shares, swingers, looking really good. Tesla, absolutely insane morning. Elon saying he's buying $1 billion worth of Tesla shares. Hey man, if Elon's buying $1 billion worth and we're not buying a couple $100 worth in our long term, then I don't know what's holding you back. So yeah, crazy. What a move. I'm happy to say that I'm part of the move, man. I got 2 Teslas at home. I got a Model X, I got a Model Y, and I will forever. I can't say anything. Love the cars. The cars are great. People got their feelings about electric vehicles, but for a daily driver, love it. Love the car. Giants, man. I don't know how to feel about the Giants. Probably the best game that I've watched from the Giants in the last 5 years, maybe more. So, nice to see at least us have some competitiveness, I guess you could say. Of course, they still can't figure out how to close the game out. That's just, you knew that the Giants were going to lose. You knew it. That's just how they do it. They always lose to a field goal or something happens like that. So I sort of felt it coming. I wasn't too surprised to see the outcome, but what a game. Probably the best game of the week across all of the NFL. So pretty nice. Fun to watch. Of course, I wish they won, but not surprised, man. I don't get surprised by the Giants losing anymore. I don't get my hopes up ever. I don't get my hopes up. Byron, appreciate that, bro. All right, guys. Well, it's Monday. It is a big week. We have FOMC this week. We got the Tesla tequila right next to us. I don't know, how much is this worth now? I've taken 1 sip of it. And that was when we made $100,000 on my first $100,000 trade, was when we took that sip. Today could have been the next 100K, but just didn't really get too aggressive in it. But huge move. Maybe there's some action today to find a new opportunity, some pullback longs. I'm sure there's some more. FOMC this week, huge moves on some individual equities. A lot of stuff. So let's get started. Press that like button. The other thing that's going to be very annoying for all of you and for me as well is that the contracts have changed. So we have a contract change on the futures, which is going to confuse the hell out of everyone. You can either choose to not use the contract adjust, or you can either look for a contract adjusted, or you can just, not use the contract adjustment. You could just look at the SPY today if you don't want to deal with that. But pretty easy to just adjust some levels with the contract change. I always do it. I haven't found any problems. I know some people are against the contract change because technically those are just sort of new levels, but I really haven't had any problems just sort of adjusting my levels in terms of where the contract adjustment changes. So it's not a big deal for me. If you're creating your own levels and you know how to look for levels, then it's not a big deal. So I'll show you guys what I have today. Because of that contract change, we rolled over to the December contracts. The other thing today is that I just remembered is tax day. So if you pay quarterly taxes, make sure to pay your quarterly taxes today. Today is a day that I lose a nice chunk of cash for quarterly taxes. So make sure if you guys are a business owner and you pay quarterly, today's the day. Don't forget it. Don't get charged late fees. Make sure to pay your taxes. You don't want to get caught in tax evasion. And you also always have to, I've realized how important it is to save money for taxes, because if you spend all your money, you are still on the hook for paying the taxes of your income. So I hope that everyone today has the cash to pay their taxes. If you don't, then start finding some cash. All right, let's jump into it. Game time. So let's drag everything over here. Press that like button. Subscribe to the channel. That's the first thing we have to do. And here we go. All right. So today, let's go ahead and pull up the economic calendar so you guys can see what we got on the docket right here. All right. So economic calendar. Today, not much. Nothing really to be paying attention to, in my opinion. Empire State Manufacturing Index, 830. Don't think that changes a thing for us. Tomorrow, retail sales, 830. That is important. Let's pay attention to that. And then on Wednesday, we have FOMC. So before the Tesla move today, I probably would have guessed that today would be a pretty boring day. But now that we have Tesla on absolutely on fire, let's, maybe there's something there. But for good reason, it would be good to anticipate a less than ideal action on the S&P, on the Nasdaq, in anticipation of retail sales and anticipation of FOMC. So a little bit cautious about today's price action, right? Just being cautious about the potential of chop and potential of consolidation on the market due to anticipation of major events, right? That's just simply how it always is. We have no news today. We have news Tuesday, Wednesday, and we should be aware of that possibility today, okay? Thursday, unemployment claims, and that closes out our week. So that's that. All right, so before we jump into Tesla, I'm sure everyone wants to look at Tesla. Let's go ahead and look at our futures contracts. Now, of course, we did have we have adjusted for contract change on. Let me just make sure that is on so you guys can see here. We are adjusted for contract change. So if there's some changes or some differences between your charts and mine, it is because of this. And I may, to be honest, guys, if you're waiting for those levels on TradingView from me, there's a chance I don't do them today because if there's a huge discrepancy between the two, then I'm really not interested in getting all wrapped up in that right now. But we'll see what it looks like. I'll check out TradingView after the live stream. But Nasdaq futures, if this thing would let me zoom in, which it's not. There we go. I mean, pretty clear here, right? All I'm doing is watching the previous highs from Wednesday and Thursday. That is my main watch on the Nasdaq futures as well as the QQQ. It's very clear. What happens at Wednesday and Thursday's highs? Do we hold it? Do we reject it? That's all I care about today. All right? Do we hold this low or do we fail this low? That's all I care about. That's the one and only thing that I'm watching. If we hold above this Wednesday high and this Thursday high, we are not going lower. All right? Simply put, if we see a pullback and this holds again and the market continues to consolidate above this previous high and previous high, then today the market will suspend itself and stay above 24,282 to around 24,300. That's pretty clear. I mean, it's just a very easy previous high to be watching on the Nasdaq futures. So that's the inflection point for me. Now, if you fail under that and you turn this high and this high into rejections, then the market flips to the downside, right, for some short-term downside. So that is going to be the number one watch across my charts. If we break underneath this Wednesday and Thursday high, then I would anticipate us to move back down to this Friday and Monday high. Excuse me. And this is also a Tuesday high, right? So you have Friday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? And so if we fail under this high, then we're coming back to this high. So those are really my two demand spots that I'm watching today, between this Wednesday, Thursday high and the Monday, Tuesday high, which is 24,300, 24,280, back down to around 24,120 to 24,140. Those are going to be my two big pullback long spots, and that's really all I care about today. Pullback long, pullback long. Okay? Those are going to be my A+ spots to look for that pullback and a new opportunity. That's it. That's really it. You could look to trade a fade underneath this high if you really want to short this market, which I really don't think makes much sense. There's short-term downside intraday, of course. There's always going to, anyone can come back and say, Desi, for the last 2 minutes we went down. I could have traded a put. Yeah, sure. You could trade a put at any millisecond of the day. But the larger picture is ridiculously bullish. I don't see a reason to be going against this. And the pullback long has been the right trade for weeks on weeks on weeks on weeks. So all I care about is pullback longs. That's all I will continue to look for. It has played very well for me this entire month. It has been the right trade the entire month. And I don't care about 5-minute downside trades. It's not interesting to me. So pullback longs here, I'll look to see. And really my job is just to make sure I get long at the right point. I'm not getting long too high. I'm not getting long extended. I'm getting long at demand. That's where I'm watching. So that's where that's my game plan today. On the 15-minute chart, we can see we are pretty much just trading right into this Friday high and this overnight high. And that will be the rejection point to be cautious of today. Break and retest above 24.4 and you continue higher on this market. Pretty simply put. 24.4, 24.4, break and hold above that, you're going higher. You reject that, then you're coming back down to this demand low. Pretty simple on the Qs today, on the Nasdaq. Pretty damn simple. QQQ, exact same thesis. We are slightly extended over this Wednesday high and Thursday high. That's at 585. So do I still think you could get a pullback to 585 before that nice long sets up? Yes. I think that's probably where people will lose on the long side today or this week, right? People that are too long at elevated levels will see the market drip lower back to 585. And the long will result off of this level, right? And if you are long too extended, you will lose, and then you will see yourself be right, right? But you're going to lose in the short term and be right in the medium to longer term. So the question is, where are you going to get long to not be caught in some type of a short-term pullback that takes you out of your position, which ends up being the pullback that results in new all-time highs? That's the question, and that's where you need to position yourself correctly. So for me, the correct position to be long is back at this Wednesday, Thursday high at 585. If we don't get that, then, it's maybe some scalps, it's maybe some short-term action until we get that pullback long. That's the right mindset, because eventually, in my opinion, you are going to come back down and retest these highs. That is going to be the best opportunity to look for. If we get under that 585, then we still have the CPI high and the previous all-time highs down here at 583. So two big pullback long spots that I'll be watching. Now, in the short term, you are creating this little demand around 586. It's really not a major level. There's no previous action here. It's just a level that's been materializing over the last 2 days, really. Like, it's not anything major. But you can see 586 is starting to show up a little bit. I personally would not look to long 586. I'd prefer 585. I'm keeping the level there, but I don't think I'll be trading off of it. All-time high is here at this Friday high, 587.86. You're trading right into it. Does this reject today? If so, that could be the drag down into 585. If we break and hold above it, then we're going higher. Pretty simply put there. Easy. S&P 500. Pretty clear sort of, channel being built here. I do believe, again, that we should pull back to this Wednesday high right here. That's also CPI high. We have not gotten a pullback to that level. We basically just ripped through it. So we've gone straight up above this high. To me, that leaves the possibility of a pullback long still, right? We might still need that little, flash pullback to come back to this high and then move higher. So I'm a little cautious of that. That's the A+ long that I would be looking for, a retest of this high back at 66.20 or possibly 6600. Now, we're not going to get there if we continue to hold this area here. This is not a major area by any means. This is not a long-tested, multi-year, multi-week level. it's being created in the short term, right? So we've created this level over the last few trading days. I don't see it anywhere else on the charts. It's really just right here, right now. So I don't trust it that much. I trust this a whole hell of a lot more down here than I would trust this zone here. But you can see the chart is telling you that that is a hold area. So you have to chart it out. So you can see 66.40 to this 66.32 area. Looks like a little bit of a zone that you want to be careful of for potential longs, right, in that area. You can see holding, 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 and a little fake out here that resulted in upside. So cautious of that zone. Definitely see some potential holding there. Then if you break under this low right here at 32, you're coming into the 20 and you're getting your retest of these highs right here, which would be the great opportunity to look for. Now, if you just rip over Friday's highs today, then you're going higher. I mean, there's really nothing else to say. If you break above this and you hold above this, you're going higher. So would be watching that. SPY 659 is the Friday high. You know, if you get a break and retest above this today, then you're going higher. If you fail back under it, maybe you go above and fail back under it, then that's a trapped buyers, right? So we're just going to have to be watching what happens at Friday's highs. Pretty simple. What happens at this Friday high? Do we hold it? Right? Do we break and hold it? Or do we fail it? Right? Or do we break above it and then fail back under it? And that would be the most bearish thing to happen. So watching everything all day, right? Watching what happens at this level. That's the key. Now, we can see we are continuing to hold in this 657, 656, 30 area. We can see these lows that have been developed, so we're going to keep that on our charts. Below that, we can see right here, this to me is the A plus long. That is the A plus long for me. These highs right here and back down to 655, 654.80. That's the pullback that I would want to see. Why do I want to see that pullback? I do not believe that this straight up move will hold up. That is what happens on the market, right? You get these straight up moves and people start to chase, and then you get those flash aggressive pullbacks where everyone thinks the market has topped and they start texting their friends that, you know, they should buy SPY puts for next year because the market's found its high, and all it is a 0.5% pullback back into previous highs. That creates the new long opportunity. So what I want to do is I want to see people start chasing this long, get trapped up here, get a flash aggressive pullback, and then pull back to this previous high where I re-long the market, right? That's the idea that I want to look for. So I really think you should come back to here. You have this straight up move, which I think will probably be straight down if you start to navigate through it. And that would be my spot to re-look for that opportunity. So being cautious of chasing this too much today into these highs. If we hold above 659, then of course I'm going to look to see if markets continue. I'm not going to be like hating on that move. I'm not going to be biased. I'm going to trade long if we're holding above this high, of course. But you know, I'm going to also be cautious of potential failures here, which is failing there and actually just failed in the pre-market. If we fail there, then I'm going to be looking for deeper pullbacks, right? That's what I'd be looking for. So pretty clear right there. If we zoom out a little bit, we can see even this previous Friday high here at 652 is a nice spot. If we come back to there as well, all of these levels are good pullback longs after this pretty frothy Thursday move, right? We sort of had a straight up move on Thursday and we're sort of suspended now. So I like the pullbacks on a retracement. So if we pull a retracement from that low to that high, that's around a 50 to 61.8% retracement, which is a good retracement for new opportunity. So that's what I would be looking for. Pretty simple there. Okay. Let's go to the IWM. IWM gave you a nice retracement move. It did come back down to this Wednesday high. You can see right there, that Wednesday high. Look what's happening at that Wednesday high. That's what I want to see the SPY do. Look at what the IWM is doing. What level did the IWM pull back to? It pulled back to Wednesday's highs. What is the pullback that I want to see on the SPY? Wednesday's highs, right? It's the same level in terms of time. So Wednesday's highs, I would like to see that happen, right? Look what the IWM has done. Wednesday's highs, look at the pullback. So this could be very interesting on the IWM on a little bit of a pullback long. If it holds that Wednesday high, that would be really nice, right? That would be really, really nice. So watching that Wednesday high, seeing if the IWM can maintain it. We need to reclaim 239.68 right here, that high from last Friday. I would be watching that rejection possibility as well. Okay. 2,500 people, 700 likes. I will stop until we get more likes. Press that like button, subscribe to the channel. Free live stream. All you have to do is press the like button. Very easy. Press the like button for me. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. It looks like we have a little bit of a bounce back on the SMH today. All right. So let's see here. 303. Let's get our demand in here. 302.38. Boom. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Shut it down. All right. SMH. I think a pullback to 300 would be ideal, personally. I do. I think that would be a really nice retracement move. And then a long. But today, if we hold back over this 303, then SMH stays strong. So you guys can see right here, this 302.38, 303 is previous all-time highs. If we hold here and reclaim here, we're going higher. So let's watch that. AMD's going higher. Yeah, AMD's a big watch here. We'll talk about AMD in just a second. IBIT, Bitcoin, not much that I'm watching there today. Sort of got a little bit tired again at this 118,000 level, which is like the major rejection point. So yeah, put an alert at 118 on Bitcoin, just so you're aware of it. But right now, a little bit slow there. Okay, so that's that. It's time to look at what we all want to look at, and that is this monstrosity of a stock today. Holy crap, is this nuts. So, Elon bought $1 billion worth of Tesla. That's pretty awesome. And he bought it pretty extended, right? He bought it at $389.28. That's his average share price. 2,568 shares at $389, right? So everyone thinks, right, oh, Tesla's extended at $390, and then Elon's out there buying $1 billion worth of it, and you're scared to buy $1,000 worth of it. That could lose possibly 20%. You'd lose literally $200 over 10 years, right? So, I mean, just think about the differences there about like risk tolerance. I mean, it's just crazy. So Elon's out here buying $1 billion. That's absolutely insanity, and that is creating, upside on Tesla this morning. So the levels that you should be watching, there is quite a bit to unfold here, and I'll get into as much as I will, as much as I can today, but we'll see. So the first thing that you need to be watching is these weekly highs. You have 3 weekly highs all jumbled up together between 399 and 402.67. 399 and 402.67. You have 3 triple top weekly highs here. Every single one of those weekly highs resulted in 10% plus downside. So right here was a 16% drop, 17% drop. I think this was around 11%. And then this drop right here was around 16%. So you have huge rejections off of this 399, 402.67 spot. And let me just go ahead and show you what happened off that level this morning. That exact zone is the level that you just went absolutely vertical off of to start the morning. You are up 7% off of that exact level that rejected on the weekly chart 3 times in 2021. So that is a huge break above that level. That is very important. So if we come back to that level in the future, you bet your ass that you should be paying attention to that, right? That is a major previous weekly triple top here that resulted in nothing but downside back in 2021. You are now holding above that. All right, next, the highs of 2021. The all-time, I guess you could say at all-time highs in 2021, right? Before the big drop. So before the basically 4-year lull on Tesla, we did not get back to that level until 2024. So the 3-year, 2-year lull that Tesla was in, right? Basically this entire period here, was the high was 414.50. That was the highest point in 2021, and it wasn't tested until 2024. 414.50. That is right here. Right here. Right where this thing exploded off of, after this original push and then the secondary push, 414.50. So 2021 highs, not a bad spot to look for a pullback into, huh? Right? That might be a great spot. 2021 highs, 414.50, or down at this 400 zone down here. Two really nice spots. Now, the next spot is, and we're just going to have to decipher, right, which level it's going to be. I have this daily high right here at $419.99, which is right here. That's a level I'm watching. And then I have these weekly highs, or these daily highs right here at 428. 428, that's my next level. Above that, I'm thinking 440, which is this high right here. So I have 440, I have 428. Those are my big daily chart levels. You can see we're sort of failing at 428 right now. Here's your 420. Your 417 is a little bit of a short-term level that's being created this morning. So you can see right here, these lows, 417. So I like this zone probably between 417 and 414.50. That could be a really nice zone to look for a pullback in, right in there. I would like to look for that pullback. This 420 level is definitely major. And then this high right here from the pre-market session is holding right now. That is at 425. So those are the levels that I'm watching today. I'm watching 425. If we fail that, I'm watching a pullback into 420, 417 into this 2021 high. If we go below that 2021 high at 414.50, we are going to come right back down to 400. Right? Tesla can give back this move. You do not keep that. You do not just think that that's not possible today. Pullbacks are still good answers. Now, if you rip over 428, you hold above 428, you're going to 440. And if you go to 440, you're going to all-time highs. I mean, that's pretty clear. If you go to 440 here, this weekly high right here, 439.74 is this weekly high right here. If you get above this weekly high right here, you are going to all-time highs. I mean, you're probably going 465 and 488. Monster day, best of luck on Tesla. It's going to be a juicer. It's going to be a crazy move. Some people are going to lose a lot of money. Some people are going to make a lot of money. But that's the fun in it. So best of luck. I think the A-plus level to be watching is 417, 414.50. This is the 2021 all-time high before that big drop. That's the pullback level I'm going to be sort of focused on today a little bit. Next, oh my God, Nvidia reclaimed. Okay, Nvidia, big drop overnight because of some China news, some probe Nvidia anti-monopoly law. Funny how China's talking about anti-monopoly when they do nothing but shit like that. Funny. I think Nvidia sort of brushes that off, to be honest. No one cares about what China has to say, but who knows? Maybe it has a problem, but, whatever. I'm just going to watch the charts. Nvidia held 172.50 perfectly. This is the exact pullback spot that we've been looking at right here. These previous highs, this low, look at that hold right there. That's quite nice. Now, what does Nvidia have to do today? Nvidia needs to reclaim these lows. You need to get back above 176, 176.40, right? That would be the area that I would need to see Nvidia get back above. Right here. These lows, these lows, these lows, we can't fail this. We can't turn these lows right here into a failure point. If we reject here, that's no bueno. Okay? You need to see this rip back above and then put all these shorts underwater on an instant reclaim back above last week's lows here. All right? That's what you need. If you get that, you're fueling this move back to 179. This is a nice hold back above these highs. Look at that break and retest right there. And this is a nice hold of this demand. So Nvidia is stair-stepping back very nicely right now. However, you've got to get back over this 176.40 low. AMD, one of my top watches today. I love this setup, and I'll talk to you why. AMD is creating, in my opinion, a major inverse head and shoulder, and it is trapping the short side here. Look at these lows. Look at these lows. Look at how you failed this, but look what's going on. You're reclaiming it. Look how you are reclaiming these major lows. This 158 level. You trapped the shorts here. You're back above these lows. This is very interesting to curl higher once again. If you can get over 162, then I think you will trade higher, probably towards that daily 20, daily 50. The ultimate clear out spot is 164.50. If you clear out 164.50, you are going to be, put everyone short underwater in this entire zone. And I think that would rip this to 170, right? And possibly higher. Possibly a lot higher, really. And this is still a 4-hour beautiful retracement. I mean, look at this retracement on the 4-hour. Look at the daily chart. It is right back to these previous highs. You are creating a beautiful flag on the daily chart. This is a sick looking trade. I am definitely paying attention to this. This pullback on AMD could be the retracement that everyone was asking for when this was going straight up, and they're saying, oh, I can't long AMD straight up. Well, guess what? It's no longer going straight up. And this is where opportunity arises, guys, right? You can't allow your mindset to change because of a pullback, right? How many people wanted to be long AMD during this entire rally? Right? Everyone's like, oh, I want to be long AMD, but it's so straight up. Long AMD, right? It's so strong. It's so strong. The first sign of a retracement, everyone's like, oh, fuck that stock, right? I'm not interested in this anymore. Yes, you should. This is when you should be interested, right? So this is where opportunity arises, guys. When everyone starts to forget about these stocks, when they're pulling back after a big move and they're retracing, you need to find where you start to see signs of the higher lows and the retracement coming to an end, right? That's where your opportunity arises. So I am laser focused on where AMD starts to show me lows, and if I can start to catch the pullback long and start to find where that opportunity arises after a pullback, right? That's where money is made, right? Or you can be the person that is now long again after this goes straight up, right? And then you long into the high again, right? That's up to you. But I can tell you there's one correct mindset there, okay? There's only one correct mindset there. Next, TSM. Still nothing for me on TSM. I need a pullback. It's still floating here, and I think it's been right to stay out of it for the last few days. It's just been absolutely sideways. So I need a pullback to 253, 254 still. Waiting on that. MU is too far gone for me. This is too straight up. I'm not interested in chasing MU at all. There's so many better opportunities out there in my mind. So MU possibly just keeps going straight up, but I can't catch this stock right now. I'd be more interested to see if AMD pullback is creating opportunity off of key demand than chasing MU straight to the upside, right? So, Broadcom, another interesting pullback name. Might need a little bit more, personally. I think it could need a little bit more. That is because it's pretty much straight up here. This could be an interesting long spot, but I'm a little bit uneasy on it. Just a little bit. Because these are just sort of major wick rejection highs. I'm interested to see if this holds and creates that next curl higher, right? On a little break and retest of these previous highs and a new long. I'm interested. I feel like there's a possibility, though, that it could sort of drip into this area, right? And possibly need like a, this is a very volatile zone. See how straight up and straight down this area is? Like, look at all this volatility. Straight up, straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. Like, this is super volatile. So it might need another one of those. So I'm a little bit cautious, but I will watch to see what happens at that pullback. All right, let's go to Apple. Apple's doing a very nice hold here, my friends. This is really clean. Like, really clean. Apple, look at this. Previous highs, look at Apple. Lows, lows, lows. Triple bottom lows. Boom, boom, boom. At these previous highs. That is very clear. That is extremely clear. Now, Apple is over the 235 high. If Apple can hold above this 235 high today, you are going to see upside come in. So right here, these highs, if Apple does a reclaim of that level, which it is right now, you can see what happened the last time we reclaimed 235, right here. And here was the rejection, and here today could be the reclaim and hold higher. Watching 235 Apple today after a monster hold of these lows. Definitely a watch. Okay. Amazon not interested. 233 rejection. It might, maybe you can get over it, but I'm not interested in that. Google is a monster. My God, is this stock out of control. Happy to be a shareholder. Have not been able to be an options trader on it, but today the trade to look for is a pullback to 242 if you can even get it. This thing is insane. Previous highs, previous highs, previous highs, previous highs. Pullback long. That's the money spot right there. Do you get it? I don't know, but that's the money spot. Palantir. Really interesting here on Palantir, guys. Pay attention to this comeback on Palantir. Look at how you're starting to curl back above, man. This is hugely important to watch. This is doing exactly as we talked about last week on, if you guys remember from our live stream last week, we talked about the Palantir hold of these previous highs, and you can see how it is turning that box into a new low, right? Structure 1 highs into structure 2 lows. This is super clean. Previous highs into lows, squeezing higher. Supply level at 172 is very heavy on this daily chart. You can see right here, this daily high right here. We've had this daily high marked out. This high, this low, that's right in here. That's where it's rejecting, 172.30 to 171.40. You can see the rejections coming in as we speak. Now, this is your pullback to be watching. Look at this pullback. Previous highs. What goes on here? Is this a higher low? Is this the rip higher again on a retest of these highs? It could either be 168 or 166 for me. Those are my two watches. 168 long, 166 pullback long. Create that new opportunity for a pullback long through these highs. If you get over this high, you are going straight up. So, watching this 172.30 high. Aqua was absolute money off our 70 low. If you guys have been a watcher of this live stream, you should remember our long idea of 70. This thing has gone up $15 per share, basically 20+% from that point. It's hard to be long Aqua into this exact all-time high here today. Of course, I will watch to see if we get a break and retest above it, but the best entry here on Aqua is a pullback to 80. That's really it. That's the best entry. Pullback to 80 is the best pullback long. Over all-time highs, you probably just get a rip. CRWV is very interesting today. If we go to the 4-hour chart, we can see CRWV is possibly trying to put in higher lows. You have major lows here. You have that turning into rejections. Look what just happened. It's pretty clear here. Previous lows into highs into lows. That's very clean. Watching CRWV. I would be watching CRWD as well. CrowdStrike. Take a look at this weekly chart. Weekly chart break and retest. There's nothing more interesting than that. Look at this weekly high right here. Look at what's going on off 400. That is very interesting. Johnny Boy. Appreciate that, Johnny Boy. 455. That is another weekly high. If you reclaim over that, you're going higher. This is a super clean break and retest of these weekly highs right here, turning into lows. This is definitely a watch. Okay, last one I'm going to be looking at today with you guys is Reddit. Reddit is sort of interesting. You got a nice pullback long potential here. You can see right about here. Whoops. Look at this 4-hour. You have a previous major high, and look at that low at 250 on Reddit. That should be an interesting watch today. SoFi for Chef. Damn, I forgot about SoFi. SoFi's still running, huh? It's just been super slow. Yeah, I sort of forgot about this one. Yeah, look at that. 25. Anything over 25, anything over 26. Yeah, I mean, look at this. That was our previous level there, 25 area. That held nice. It looks like... wow, what's this 27 daily high? Do we have a... What do we have here? We got anything to the left? Let me zoom out a little bit. Where are we at? That's the... Okay, all-time high 28.26. Daily high at 26.97. Yeah. I mean, if we get over... I mean, you're over that 26.97 right now. If you hold above that... Could be all-time high move here, Chef. Possibly. Yeah, fantasy football. My teams went absolutely haywire this week, man. Holy crap. Sorry about that, Jason. I mean, my teams went nuts. Every team I had went absolutely nuts. Let's see. I want to check on that real quick. I had 164 points in one of my leagues. Mahomes, Jefferson, Tyreek Hill, HN, Kraft 24, HN 26, Cook 26, Baltimore D 15. Yeah, nuts. Mahomes got 22. Yeah, big week. Other league, I had St. Brown with 4 touchdowns, Nakua with 27, Cook with 20. Yeah, it's nuts. Crazy week. Awesome week of football. All right, guys. That's all I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the live stream. If you could, please press that like button before you head out. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys want to trade live with me every day, down in the description below. If you want to apply for the mentorship group, there is a application down below as well. You can check that out if you want my key levels. If you want to check out anything that I offer, it's down below in the description. Or all I ask is for you to press the like button and subscribe to the channel. And that's it. Let's keep trading. Today looks like it's going to be a sexy day. Day's pretty much done, as it should be done for me. I'm up 5 figures in the pre-market. So I have really no reason to be trading, right? To be quite honest. Hold on. I'm going to pull this up for you to end the live stream. Let's just take a little peek. Let's take a little peek at what we got going on here. I have a meeting on the coffee. I have a meeting set up. Shout out to you know who you are. I'm not going to name any names, but I had a member of the live stream reach out and reach out to an owner, a friend of his who's an owner of a coffee manufacturer, and we got a meeting set up, man. So pretty cool. Maybe it's something that is maybe something that we get going. Could be pretty cool. So hold on here. Let's see what we got. Let's take a quick peek. All right. So we have. Oops. Just pulled up the paper trading account for everyone. Here's the paper trading account. If you guys know Interactive Brokers, you know that's not a paper trading account. It would say paper trading everywhere. But there you go. That's what we got. I got five of the 395s. I'm up. It should be around 11,000. Let me see. If I close this and reopen it, it should show it like for a second. Let me see. Sometimes Interactive Brokers, if you close it and reopen it. Let me see if I can get it to do it. Yeah, you guys know the trick. If you guys have Interactive Brokers, you know what I'm talking about. If you close the application and reopen it, sometimes it'll shoot up the P&L that you're up. But anyways, it counts up to 164. We closed last week at like 153. So your net liquidity will show what you're up if you have Interactive Brokers, by the way. Actually, I think I can go into the position and I think I can see. Hold on. Portfolio? No. There's a way to see what you're up. I don't know exactly how to do that. Here we go. This is it. Here it is. Here's how you check it. Right here. $12,323. That's what I'm up this morning. $12,323 unrealized. Okay? So that's my day. And maybe that'll be where I call it. But we shall see. Have a fantastic day. Press the like button. Subscribe to the channel. The only person that's going to pull up a live account on a live stream in front of 3,000 people. Who else is doing it? You let me know. See you later.